welcome back to the Marlins here on OOTP 26. And as you can see, we're here right before the trade deadline as we have been roaring here post All-Star break. Hit the All-Star break, unfortunately, drop 2 to Kansas City, but it's a 4-game set, so we salvage that, get 2 wins out of that, split with them, sweep Texas in a 4-game set. That's a mop, folks. And then we beat Arizona, sweep them, and now we are taking on the Giants here, heading into the trade deadline rather, as we are looking to make some moves here. Now, we do have Alex Garcia, who is on a rehab assignment. He's played 3 games down there. He was out for 7 weeks. He will be back here any day now, so he's going to be added to the mix here. So if we take a look at our lineups, right now, this is going to push Vargas to the bench. McBride has, he's not going to be on the team down the stretch. So let's just say Vargas gets pushed to the bench. He becomes the backup outfielder along with the infielder with Jeremy Green. I'm not totally opposed to having Jeremy Green just be on the team here with Verdeek playing second base, but also I wouldn't be against acquiring an infielder as well. 2 bats really is what we're looking at here. So let's just say that McBride, let's just do it now. Let's send McBride down to AAA. We go to the injured list. We call up Garcia. So we have something where Vargas is the backup outfielder as well as getting some infield backup time. Accidentally just put him on that position, but whatever. And we have something like this, where it's Green and Vargas being as the main infielder backups. Vargas is the main outfielder backup with Garza splitting time as the center fielder here. But I would be not against getting something where we get like an outfielder that pushes Jeremy Green off the bench. Vargas goes back to being the super utility backup, and then we get like an outfielder to give us like a true 4th outfielder, so Vargas doesn't have to do everything coming off the bench. And if we really want to get greedy, we can do something where it's like a 4th outfielder who's also a lefty hitter who can give us some time at third or second base, where Verdeek is playing right now, where we mainly play him against lefties, and then we can deploy somebody else who's a bit better against righties. Maybe we find something like that. But that's, asking for a bit much. Asking for a guy who can play you second base and be your 4th outfielder. But we'll look. We'll look to see if there's something like that out there. As far as pitching goes, I think we could possibly acquire like a veteran starter. Because right now our rotation is going to be like Patino and Elizalde are 1-2, obviously. We sent down Jose Hernandez because he has been that bad for us this season. Just truly dreadful. Truly, truly dreadful. Projected to make $9 million this upcoming offseason. And you could see, even as a follower, we're just not doing it. So he's then in AAA, unfortunately. He's been one of our steady starters for a long time here. So that opens up a spot in the postseason rotation here where we have Patino and Elizalde who are guaranteed. Godfrey is guaranteed. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then the 4th spot is wide the hell open. It could be Andy Hodge if he solidifies himself down the stretch here. It could be Omar Garcia, maybe. Like on paper, you're like, sure, this guy could give you some innings, but also at the same time, he hasn't really proven it. Do we want this guy to pitch a playoff game? Maybe. So I'm kind of thinking that we might want to possibly pick up a starter option for us, even if the guy is in the bullpen to start here for us post deadline. That could be something. Maybe Hernandez goes back to the rotation at some point. I don't know, but the rotation, a bit of a mess right now at the back end. It's kind of hinging on Andy Hodge being able to transition straight to the big leagues. Really good at both AA and AAA. Maybe he's able to do that. Maybe we'll be able to see that. And he's just all of a sudden our 4th best starter as we are ready to rock and roll heading into the playoffs. But also it could possibly be something where he's not ready and we have ourselves a question mark for that 4th starter. So 1 pitcher and then the unicorn second base against righties, 4th outfielder type guy against or as a bat to pick up. So 2 guys is what we're looking to pick up here at the deadline. Maybe some other stuff if there's stuff out there that's like jumping off the page to me that like we need to go out and get. But for right now, I think we are, that's the plan. I love to have the game open for more than 20 minutes, so now it's all fucking laggy. So we're out here just shopping some of our prospects, seeing what type of value we can get for them. And Adelmar Sadio here has some insane value. Teams like this guy. You know, he could be a good starter. I'm kind of leaning towards I would be open to trading him because I just don't love the personality. I just don't think this is going to cut it. This is going to be a huge locker room annoyance. So if he has value, why not try to get something for him? And one of these guys is Mike Langer, who I keep saying I'm trying to move away from these high stuff, big time, just big time stuff, hard throwers who don't have the best control, and their movement is kind of suspect, their home runs allowed is kind of suspect. But this guy, they think they would just be like, hey, we'll give you this guy for your guy. Now, he is a 60 potential, but he hasn't quite hit that yet, and he's 25. So he's at that point where the game is lying to you, being like, oh, he could be a 60, but really he's a 50. And he's fragile, so that's something to keep in mind with him. There is also, the Washington Nationals are insane, where they're like, hey, we'll give you this guy. We'll give you this guy who's also kind of in that same thing where he's 24 and a half, hasn't fully developed, and you're like, yeah, he's a 70 potential, but 3 months could go by and he's a 50 potential. So, it's intriguing, but at the same time, could also be lying to us. And the thing about the trade block is that there's just nobody really on here. Really, the only interesting arm for me on here is Kyson Witherspoon out of Oklahoma. He is a guy who has been really good in the rotation for Las Vegas. They moved him to their closer role this year. He's got great personality. He has one more year control left at $10.7 million. Now, the thing is, the A's are so poor that they can't afford this contract with, they can't retain this. I don't want to pick up $10 million for next season, but they really can't afford to not have that. So if we go hey, retain 50%, and I was just messing around being like, hey, what if we just give you Jose Hernandez? We can't even do this because they can't afford it. So really, they can only afford it, even if Hernandez, because they're going to be, it's going to count the arbitration number. Even if we give them something I don't know, this guy, let's just say for an example, they're not even interested in that anyways. And this guy's not really somebody I want to trade Sadio for, knowing what Sadio's value is, or really any of these types of guys. So that's why I was thinking Jose Hernandez, because he sucks for us. We're not going to give him the $9 million. Might as well try to get something that we know is somebody who can pitch well. This guy has been a solid pitcher for a long time in this universe with Las Vegas, but I don't want to pay $10 million next year, and we basically just have to, the most we can do is 30%. We can make them retain $3.2 million off it next season, which I guess isn't the worst thing. That would be 7.5. So we get Kyson Witherspoon for 7.5. He could give you some starting innings. He could give you a multi-inning reliever. He's a captain. We're not going to be bringing back Jose Hernandez anyways at $9 million next season. I don't know. I think we should do this. I think we're going to do this because he's the only interesting pitcher on the block for me. So I think we're going to do it. We're going to go Jose Hernandez, Kyson Witherspoon, lock that in, bang. And the players love it. The players love the newly acquired leadership of Kyson Witherspoon. So out on the trade block, there's a couple big-time names. There's the guy from the A's, who we're not going to be able to get because he doesn't have a spot open on our team. But the guy from the Padres, Justin Davenport. He is an expiring contract. Now, we would not be acquiring this guy with the intentions of bringing him back. This would just be a pure rest of season, help us win a World Series rental here for Justin Davenport. And it would take a major trade here. I think it's still worth it. I think we should do this. Davenport, add this to our lineup with our good pitching. I think we're we'd be cooking. We would be cooking with gas, even if it is just a rental. Justin Davenport add his bat to the team, and we have to give up. The main piece would be Esteban Andrés, who was our big free agent signing this offseason. He's 16 years old, hitting well in rookie ball. That doesn't really mean much, in my opinion, but or at least in this game, it doesn't in real life. That's like, holy shit, this guy's generational. But in this, it's not quite that. He's going to have no positional home. He's super far away. Now, like, sure, 10 years from now, we're going to be like, oh my god, the Padres had this guy who's insane. We could have had this guy. Maybe, but I think it's worth it. I think we should get rid of this guy. Get a year of or half a season of Justin Davenport here the rest of the year. We get rid of Sadio. We have similar starting pitchers who could fill this role for us. We don't love his personality. We've talked about that. And then also Pat Taylor, who is a high movement control, extreme ground ball reliever who we took in the second round. I guess he was a starter when we took him. He could be good. He could not be good. We have some other guys that we like. Like if we look at the prospect pitchers here, obviously we know about Andy Hodge, who can come in and fill a role like that in our rotation. We've got somebody like Gabriel Mendez, who's a two-pitch guy, but he's a good reliever, possible player for us. William Bautista, who we picked up from Cleveland this offseason, he's a possible like fourth, fifth starter type. We also have Luis Robledo, who is a scouting discovery, who's 22 and high A for us this season, pitching very, very well after a season where he pitched very, very well in A-ball last year. He could be a fourth, fifth starter type for us at some point. Honestly, now that I'm looking at between Robledo and Taylor, because those are the guys we had to decide between. Like if we do this and then we go make this work, some names pop up, and it's for Robledo and Taylor here were the ones where I was like, okay, I'd be interested in giving those guys up. Who's Barber? Third round pick? Yeah, no, we're not trying to give up Ben Barber. So Robledo and Taylor. Now that I'm looking at Taylor, I kind of prefer Taylor because he has that movement control profile that I like. And Robledo here doesn't have that third pitch. The changeup's not fully developed. So I think we're going to go this. We're going to go Andrés, Sadio, and Robledo go to the Padres, and we get half a season of Justin Davenport. All right, so I think that's going to be all we do. We pick up the big swing in Davenport. We add Kyson Witherspoon, who's going to start for us. We sent down Hodge just because we already used his option for this season, so it's not like we're burning another option. And I just felt like that was the most obvious player to send down. So Kyson Witherspoon is going to be in our rotation for us. He's a 50. We know that he's been a good starter in the past. He's been good in their bullpen this season. He's going to pitch for us down the stretch. Bullpen remains the same. Acevedo's up now at the bullpen as well. When it comes to the hitting side of things, we sent down Jeremy Green. Domingos Fredik moves to the to the bench rather. Vargas becomes the super utility, main outfield backup against righties and against lefties. And then the lineup is pretty much the same. It's just the leadoff hitter changes depending on the outfield alignment, where against lefties, it's Plone, Garza, Garcia left to right. And then against righties, it's Garcia, Head, Garza left to right, with Plone or Mark Antonio DHing and Hirai DHing against lefties. So against lefties, Hirai leads off, and then it's 2 through 9 is Mark Antonio, Garcia, McCoy, Garza. Davenport is our sixth hitter. Witt, Lee, and Ortega. And then against righties, it's just Head leading off with the 2 to 9 the same. We're rocking and rolling. We are ready to make a push here. Let's fucking win it. So we just had a back tightness injury to Mike Bird here down the stretch. We're a couple days out from the roster expansion portion of the season. As you can see, he's back tightness out for 2 weeks. So we put him on the IL. I'm like, okay, I'm going to call up Andy Hodge to take his spot on the roster. And Andy Hodge is not an option because he is out with 7 to 8 months with a surgery to remove bone chips. Pitchers, like I said, that's why we don't extend them long term unless we get under like a rip-off team-friendly deal. Well, if it isn't another 100-win season in a game that runs like pure shit. Well, it's OOTP 26, folks. 107 wins as the Fish do it again for a 6th season in a row, winning 100 games. The first year here with a new league alignment, as we are first place in the Southern Division, obviously, 107 wins. The Philadelphia Phillies also at 105 wins. The Dodgers had 116 wins over in the Western Division. We look at the expanded standings. Plus 279 run differential was the best in the American League, while the best in the National League was a plus 287 from the Los Angeles Dodgers, who we are so deeply hoping is not the team that we end up facing in the World Series if we get that far because of what they did to us last season. But taking a look at the team stats page here for 2036, could have been even better. 15-12 could have been even better here to close the season. If we didn't have this month of June, too, could have been even better, but 107 wins nonetheless. Lots of ones all over the place here. Best batting average, third best OPP, best in slugging, OPS, WAR, WOBA, runs scored, hits, second in extra base hits and home runs, ninth in walks, best in strikeouts, stolen bases, and then eighth in base running. While the pitching and defense side of things, the best ERA, the third best starters ERA, the best bullpen, the second least amount of runs allowed, the first in WAR, hits allowed, opponent's average, BABIP, second least home runs allowed, eighth in walks, the most strikeouts, second in defensive efficiency, and third in zone rating as a team. Really, really good ball club, as we all know. Start things off first we should talk about some injuries. Unfortunately, Omar Garcia has about a week left on an injury. Maybe he's back for us in the playoffs, or he will be back for us in the playoffs at some point, but if he's there for the first round, we shall have to see. Hopefully, because he was good for us down the stretch, but did get a partially torn labrum, which is always a scary injury for a pitcher. While on the pitching side of things for how the team did, Tony Elizalde might win Cy Young this season, folks. 33 starts, 7 WAR, 1.68 ERA plus, a 58 FIP minus, that's a 2.44 ERA and a 2.36 FIP, a sub-1 WHIP, and a .89 WHIP, which is just crazy. 29.7 K percentage, 41.5 walk percentage, that's good for a 25.3 K minus walk, sub-1 home runs per 9. I mean, crazy, crazy pitcher. We had him in the bullpen for 2 full seasons, being one of the best stoppers in baseball. And then this year goes to the rotation, gives us 188 in the third innings pitched, and was just phenomenal. Gonna win the Cy Young, most likely. Pedro Patino, down year for him, honestly. Only a 3.8 WAR. He won the Cy Young in 2033, was it? Yes, 2033. Had a pretty equally as good season in 2034, I would say. But then the last couple seasons, looking more like just a solid 2-3 guy, 3.5 WAR. Still really, really good, don't get me wrong, but not quite the 6 WAR, all-world beater type pitcher, best pitcher in the world type stuff he was doing in 2033. And then as far as the rest of the staff goes, when sorted by innings pitched, we also have Marique Godfroy, who was one of our better pitchers this season. He's turned into quite a good piece for us. We also have Kyson Witherspoon, who came over from the deadline. He ended up being pretty solid in the rotation. Didn't have the best ERA, but the FIP was solid. Limits home runs. He's a good pitcher. He'll probably end up being... he's going to be on the postseason staff, whether he's in the bullpen or in the rotation. We will have to decide that. And then the other starter down the stretch was Okita, who got us 4 starts. He got a couple appearances early in the season of the bullpen, but he was just kind of there, giving us some starting. He gave us 4 starts once Garcia went down as a lefty in the rotation. And then as far as the bullpen guys go, Ramon Hernandez in that long relief role was really solid for us this season. Fan fave, sticks around. Whether he's around next season, who knows? But for now, he is on our bullpen as a just electric, multi-inning, long reliever sort of guy. And then Luke Garreau continues to be one of, if not the best reliever in baseball. He's had 3 straight reliever of the years in 2033, 34, and 35. Probably going to win it again 2036 here. Just incredible. We've got him signed long-term. Former 20th round pick, now 3-time, possibly 4-time reliever of the year. crazy, crazy development for Luke Garreau here. Ben Abelt was solid in his role as well as the double barrel stopper along with Luke Garreau. We already talked about Witherspoon. Macias was really, really good. He gave us 64 innings this season in 57 games. He got a lot of saves even. He had 12 saves, whereas Abelt had 18. Really good. 3.24 ERA plus, which is a 1.27 ERA and a 2.38 FIP. Really good reliever. Mike Bird was solid again. TJ Griffin ended up being pretty solid in what will probably be his last season here in Miami. Hector Alfaro was good. Probably should have taken him off of opener because we didn't have a follower the rest of the season, but he was good in his role. Miguel Acevedo coming off the IL from his Tommy John, was it? I'm clicking on all the wrong things. Tommy John, torn flexor tendon. He had a torn flexor tendon, came back from that, and was really good. 24 and a third, 2.22 ERA plus, 77 FIP minus. That's a sub 1 or a sub 2 ERA and a low 3 FIP. Solid stuff. Love to see it. And then we talked about Okita, and then William Bautista came up as a September call-up, who was just, whatever, as like a middle reliever, low leverage sort of player. While on the hitting side of things, lots of really, really good bats on this roster. Jorge Garza puts up a 7-win season, a 144 WRC plus, 36 doubles, 29 home runs. Is that a career high for him? It is indeed a career high in home runs for Jorge Garza. 40 swiped bags as well, putting up an 8.2 ZR in center field and a 1.7 ZR in right field. Really good center fielder. Maybe long-term it's probably best to play him in center, and Collier. I should mention, Dylan Head, obviously he's been really good in center field for us long-term. Another 3-WAR year for him. Not great offensively, but that's what he does. He puts up incredible ZRs, really good player. We have him, I believe, for one more season guaranteed. Yes, one more season guaranteed at 17.5. He'll probably be the center fielder for that year again. Garza will be in right field, and we'll do like the lefty-righty thing again probably. But once Dylan Head leaves after 2037, it'll probably be Garza playing center field, and our man Russell Collier here will probably be playing right field for us. So we've got it lined up. That's, if everything lines up perfectly, that's probably what it's going to look like here in 2 seasons. But going over the rest of the team, we've got Jalen McCoy. He puts together a 6.2 WAR season as a first baseman, a 171 WRC plus, 27 doubles, 43 big flies, 115 ribbies, 103 runs scored. Walks a decent amount, doesn't strike out ever. Incredible player. I mean, Jalen McCoy, fantastic. Unfortunately, we were not able to extend him long term because he wants, like, hey, I'm best player in the world type money. Like if we just apply the long-term demand here, he wants to get paid. And, he's a first baseman at the end of the day. Obviously a really, really good first baseman, but I don't really want to pay somebody $37 million. That's just what it is. So we're going to enjoy him while we have him, but he's not going to be here once he hits free agency, obviously. Mark Antonio, the 5.4 WAR for him, a 152 WRC plus, 44 doubles, 37 home runs, 119 ribbies leads the team, 120 runs scored leads the team. Once again, another guy who walks a ton, does not strike out, 26 swipe bags as well at a really poor rate, but still, Mark Antonio, really, really good player, obviously. I mean, what else can you say about this guy at this point? Justin Davenport comes over from San Diego, puts together a good campaign, 5.2 WAR, 138 WRC plus, 20 doubles, 24 home runs. Down the stretch, I was like, oh, that's right, we should be leading off this guy with his 75i. So down the stretch, he ended up leading off for us against righties and against lefties, rather than hitting 6th or whatever he was when we first made the lineups with him. But you can see here, really good with San Diego, really good with us. Hopefully he's a little bit down with us, honestly. 794 OPS, but still solid player. Hopefully he's able to be a really good player for us down the stretch into the playoffs. Alex Garcia missed some time for us this year, but overall still a really good season. 4.8 WAR, 169 WRC plus, 30 doubles, 26 home runs. He's incredible. Dylan Head we talked about. He does his thing, playing solid defense, swiping bags. Kyle Ortega was really good. I mean, he might just be the everyday catcher in the postseason here. because he was just that good for us this season. Hopefully it can continue into the playoffs, puts up a 2.6 WAR, a 133 WRC plus in 249 plate appearances. We might just do the swap every other day thing, but Asbel was cold to end the season. We look at his splits, never really put together a good offensive season, was dreadful from August onward, whereas Ortega has just, September he was just on fire. And then he was really good in April, May, and June. July and August, kind of a mixed bag. But Ortega might just be the everyday catcher heading into the playoffs. We will have to see. Domingos Ferdique ended up having a really good season. Gave us some starting options and also was a bench player for us. 2 WAR, 123, our WRC plus, 17 doubles. Hopefully he's key piece for us down the stretch here as the Venezuelan Italian has a good campaign in his first big league action here in 2036. Brooks Lee, we have him just for this season guaranteed. Probably not going to be picking him up next season. He was still 6 ZR at shortstop, but the glove is just not there, or the bat just not there. Honestly, we might even look to have somebody like Jeremy Green play shortstop in the postseason. We might not have Brooks Lee on the postseason roster, is what I'm saying. But, really good run for him here in Florida. We look at his career stats. I mean, just behold those numbers. 45 career WAR, 105 WRC plus for the career, 418 doubles, 158 home runs. He had 250 stolen bases. OPS is 732 because these last few seasons has really dragged that down. But really from 2027 through 2032, he was one of the best second basemen in baseball, and then switched to shortstop and became this just glove-first demon at shortstop. And then Bobby Witt, the old man, didn't have his best season, coming off of 5 WAR the past 2 seasons, and then this year just wasn't that for us, unfortunately. But it's whatever. He's an old man. He does what he does. Asbel, we talked, that was not great. Harai does his thing where he actually wasn't that great against lefties. Only a 102 WRC plus against lefties. Not really sure how that's the case with these ratings, but that's just what happened with him. And then Vargas continues to just not be good. He is just no juice left in his bat. It's horrible. It is horrible what he's turned into here the past 2 seasons. Another guy who was just around for us for a long, long time. 2028 through 2034. He hits 30 and immediately he's just like, I don't know what to do anymore, coach. I can't hit anymore. So unfortunately, that's the way it goes with him, but long time he was our 2-3 hitter and just really, really was a solid player for us for a long time. And then we called up this Takamoto guy down the stretch to give us some time in September. He barely played, didn't do anything. But like I said, we'll make some decisions on if guys are going to make the postseason roster or not heading into the postseason, but for now, that's how our team did. And then here is the around the league look on the hitting side of things. The batting average leader was Alexis Molina of the Tampa Bay Rays, a Panama-born outfielder. Crazy, crazy good player. He's in our division too. The Rays might be putting together a good ball club here down the stretch, or the next couple seasons, you would think, with a guy like this. So maybe we got ourselves a little Florida rivalry here in the Southern Division. Well, then Jalen McCoy was top 5 in batting average. He was also 3rd in home runs, only behind Alfredo Perez of the Red Sox and Joe Chandler of the San Francisco Giants. Juan Cuadros had 40 home runs. 2 guys in the Dodgers lead with 144 and 133 ribbies. Is this Derek Fisher? Donavian Fisher. And then Mark Antonio and McCoy are 4-5. When it comes to ABs, Mark Antonio had the most ABs in baseball. Hits, Jalen McCoy was 3rd. Mark Antonio was 2nd in runs. This Molina guy had 55 doubles. Total bases, 4-5, was McCoy and Mark Antonio. Dylan Head and Garza were 2-3 in stolen bases. And old man, 34-year-old Ellie De La Cruz, now on the Dodgers, putting up an 8-WAR season. I mean, he's gone to 3 different teams. He was an insane player in Cincinnati, goes to Houston, didn't fall off at all through his 30s, and now at age 34 goes to Los Angeles and is still just all-world player. 63 swiped bags at the age of 34 for Elly De La Cruz. So let's just be clear here. The Dodgers have Elly De La Cruz. They have Juan Cuadros, who we are very familiar with. This is a 27-year-old player who already has a 68.2 career WAR. I mean, what can you even say about that? That's another 10 WAR season for him. And then they also have this guy, Donavian Fisher, who's 23 years old. Like I said, we are hoping that they somehow get knocked out by somebody and we don't have to play them. And then on the pitching side of things, Tony Elizalde with the third best ERA in baseball. The Phillies had a guy, Bryce Ellis, who had a sub-2 ERA. We remember this guy. He's been with the Phillies team that we face in the world in the postseason every year the past 3-4 years. This year we won't be because they're in a different division. No, they're the Metro. They won the Metro, so they get a bye. We might face them at some point, but it would be the championship round, considering it's all reseeding per round. And then wins, Elizalde and Godfroy were both top 5 in the league with 17 wins respectively. Elizalde puts up a 7 WAR. You've also got Pagan of the Reds putting up an 8, 2 7.7s with Ellis and Busick. So Ellis actually might get the ERA or get the Cy Young. That's brutal. We put up a 7 WAR season with Elizalde, and he's not going to win the Cy Young because Bryce Ellis here puts up a sub-2 ERA and a higher WAR. Patino, top 2 in strikeouts per 9. Pagan of the Reds is number 1. Lowest walks per 9 is Elizalde here, 2 among qualified pitchers. He had the 3rd lowest whip. This Arma guy on Detroit is pretty crazy. He had the lowest whip, a .88 whip. He was also throwing 212 innings, which was the most in baseball. 3rd lowest FIP is Elizalde. He's got the 3rd best ERA+. The 2nd R WAR. 2nd BABIP, 3rd and 4th in opponent's average is Godfroy and Elizalde. Or 2nd BABIP was Godfroy. That's actually not Elizalde. And then Arma, the guy who leads the league in innings pitched, was the 1st in BABIP. Win percentage, Godfroy. Shutdowns, a belt was 5th. The most holds was Garreau. And then on the fielding side of things, who cares about most of this stuff? But the range, Asbel was on there, the top of that. Catcher's ERA was Asbel, and then nobody was there for framing runs, but Ethan Salas, now with the Cincinnati Reds, puts together a really, really good defensive season. Just a terrible offensive player, though. And there you have what is the postseason bracket here for the 2036 season with the first year of realignment. The Marlins and the Phillies are your division winners in the American League, so they get the first round byes, while the Red Sox, Pirates, Orioles, and Cardinals are your wild card teams, while the Dodgers and Twins are your division winners in the National League, and then the Brewers, Reds, Athletics, and Blue Jays are your wild card teams on that side of the bracket. Once again, it does reseed per round, so moving on, we have the number 1 seed, so whoever the worst of these seeds is who advances on to the division series will be facing us.